What we're showing is the truth behind what happens to animals to end up as our food.
Yeah.
So this is standard industry practice. Have you guys seen something like this before?
Yeah, in my animal rights class.
In your animal rights class?
I'm
wow.
a vegetarian.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Great. So you've made that first step.
Yeah.
What we're showing is the treatment of animals in all industries, specifically the food industry. Yeah. You look very distressed as you're watching this.
I was trying to actually see what's going on.
Sure. So what we're showing here is how animals are used and exploited in different industries.
Oh, okay.
Why
So-
do we do this?
Why do we do this? Because how else are they going to feed 7.5 billion people who want animal products?
Yeah, I know it.
Right?
Yeah, this is awful.
It is.
Yeah.
Would you say you're animal lovers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a lot of animals.
You have a lot of it. What kind of animals?
Goat,
Yeah.
dog,
Oh,
cat.
fantastic.
Come si chiamano le oche? Duck.
You're Italian?
Not duck?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
duck, but not duck. The white one?
Geese.
I don't know.
Geese? Would you say you're against animal abuse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say this is animal abuse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still eat animals?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, every person I've asked today says yes to all three questions.
Really?
It's interesting, isn't it? That we're against something, and yet we've been taught our whole lives that we can participate in it without even knowing it.
It's true.
It's true, huh? You seem like someone that cares about animals too. I'm
do.
feeling like you're
Yes.
really kind of taking this in.
I do.
Yeah.
I am soaking it up. Definitely. Soaking
Yeah,
it up.
great.
Yeah,
Are you someone that still eats animals?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
wife is vegetarian and our kids are vegetarian.
Oh, that's a great
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's holding you back from joining them?
I don't know. I don't know.
Would you say you're against animal abuse?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, everyone says that.
100%.
Would you say this is animal abuse?
100%.
Yeah. Do you think there's a way of producing animal products for consumption without animal abuse?
Like the old days, like, it wasn't like that. They didn't torture their animals because they were like family.
Right. Yeah. So this one here is showing dairy production.
Yeah.
These are mother cows. Do you know anything about the dairy industry?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anything like this before? No? Do you want to have a little closer look with me? This is super important. You're right?
I'm with the cause for sure.
Do you still eat animals?
I do.
So how can you be with the cause if you're eating animals? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
If you can't watch it, why are you eating it? Well, do you at least take a card to do some more research because you're paying for what's happening on those screens. Every time you buy an animal product, that's exactly what you're paying for. So if you don't agree with it, you don't contribute to it by not buying it. Yeah? Thank you so much.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of these videos.
You have?
Yeah. That's what made my friend go to vegetarian. She watched these and she was like, F that.
Great.
Like, I can't eat it anymore
Yeah.
after watching things like that.
Do you don't eat meat anymore?
I do. I
do?
I do.
And so you've stopped eating meat,
Yeah.
but you're still consuming dairy and eggs? Yeah. Do you know about those industries?
I do.
You do? Okay, what's holding you back from dropping those products as well?
I like cheese, but that's a bad answer.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the answer we get most of the time. You know how they're forcibly impregnated?
Yeah.
You know the whole process, yeah? You know they take the babies away?
Yeah.
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 Can I ask you an
No.
honest question?
Sorry?
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah.
Are you eating ice cream?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that that's a product of this industry?
No, I didn't know that was a product of this industry.
Yeah. Is it a personal choice when it affects the life of someone else? Or does it stop being personal at that point?
I don't know, it's a tough conversation. I'm not sure if I'm ready on Sunday afternoon on the Father's Day.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because a lot of the images that you're seeing, they're of babies, so they haven't even had the chance to meet their father. Or their mothers, they're taken away as soon as they're born. So this is actually a really good day to think about it. My question for you is, do you still eat animals?
No. Yes,
Yeah.
we eat meat, but not my animals.
Not your animals,
No,
just other animals.
absolutely.
Why don't you eat your animals?
Because all my animals are saved from difficult situation.
So you rescued your animals that you're protecting,
Yeah.
but you're eating other animals.
Yes.
And it's kind of weird, isn't it, that we're taking the breast milk of another species that's designed for a baby, and we're solidifying it and flavoring it and then selling it to adult humans.
That's what.
It's like, what are we doing? It's crazy. Why did you
Don't support
continue
this.
to? You don't support it?
No, I don't. I do like.
You do?
I
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
I do,
I was
can't lie. I
Yeah,
can't lie.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting what you said there. You don't support it in terms of you don't support this.
No, absolutely
But you
not.
literally are supporting it. Right now, these are
know.
day-old male chicks, baby chicks. They are being put into a macerator. They are ground up alive. That is the egg industry. Why do you think industry doesn't show us this? When you go out for a steak or a burger or some fish?
People lose money.
Exactly. They don't want people to see it, right?
Yeah.
Why don't they want people to see it?
Profits.
Because it doesn't look good. It doesn't make you hungry, does it? Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the world we live in. I mean, my niece, they've got 1,500 cattle.
Oh wow, they're dairy farmers. Yeah, right. Back in the UK, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This is egg production.
Chickens, right?
Chickens, yeah, producing eggs.
So basically, we shouldn't be eating chickens, right?
We shouldn't.
What they doing to them.
That's right. Yeah, chickens, eggs, dairy, meat. We're showing everything on the different screens. And in the old days, how did animals ultimately end up on someone's plate, though?
I mean, just like a tiger needs to eat, people need to eat too, right?
Right. So
You have to
again,
make the decision.
but in the old days, they still ended up having to slit their throats, right? So all the animals, no matter how the conditions of how they were raised, they all end up at the slaughterhouse.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
There's still like animal byproducts that are developed in like a non-harmful way to animals, right?
Well, how would you do that? What does that look like to you? Does that sound a little bit contradiction for you?
No, because my animals are under my, come si dice?
Under your care?
Under my care. Cosa?
Why aren't you eating all animals though?
Because I like meat.
Right. But you know,
We're Italian, we eat.
everybody in the world eats meat.
Yeah.
My husband's Italian. We ate meat 30 years of
He's a
our
vegan?
lives. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you know how we can stop this? No idea?
Nope.
Do you know why they produce this in the first place?
Nope.
You said it before.
Money.
That's it.
There you go.
Who's buying it?
Consumers.
Exactly. So who has the power to stop it?
Consumers.
What's your job today?
Don't eat meat.
You got it. Can I leave you with the card, mate?
Sure.
This is really important information. So what we find, a lot of people watch this and they're very distressed by it. You said it was, terrible. But we're paying for it as consumers when we eat the products.
Yeah.
And there's that connection between what you're eating, for example, and what you're seeing, and it's
Yeah.
kind of not there.
Yeah.
This is
I know, right?
interesting, right? Because you're like, you know.
I know, it's always torn, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
but why are you torn? That's an interesting thing you've said. Why are you torn? Why is it
I
not
guess
black and
it's the
white, clear for you?
problem Of like just comfort and habit of just Americans being like, okay, you know what I mean?
I absolutely know. And it's I'm from Australia. Same thing
exactly.
everywhere. All around the world, it's the comfort,
Yeah.
it's the ease, it's the taste, it's what we're used to.
Yeah.
So it's the same culture everywhere. Doing
Is
this to
this
animals.
mostly mass production versus local, or
This is
both?
everything. This is standard industry practice. So, yeah, the majority of food animals are raised in factory farms, high intense industrial farming. But the practices were learned from family farms. So the techniques of what we do to animals was first started on family farms, and then they just, made that large scale to feed 7.5 billion people who want to eat animals, right? So people think it's about the treatment. It's not the treatment, it's the use, full stop.
It's a choice.
It is a choice, but do you think it stops being your personal choice when it involves the life of someone
Yeah,
else?
of course, but we can
Yeah.
still eat meat if you want.
You can if you want, but is it the right thing to do if we don't need to eat them?
All opinion.
Everything could be turned in many different ways, and I don't want to even think about it right now.
You don't want to think about it?
Yeah.
Do you still want to pay for it and consume it though?
I don't know. All right.
All right, let me leave you with a card if I could. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me?
Can I leave you with a
No, I'm
card?
good, I'm good. Thanks
You're
a lot.
good?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh, that's a shame. Have you seen something like this before? Yeah? What are you thinking of it? No, you don't want to talk to me? Why not? Come back and talk. I won't buy it, I'm vegan.
I would guess that there's like farms out there that are,
Doing this in a nice, humane way?
yeah, I would think.
Sure, okay, so do you know why a cow produces milk in the first place?
Well, like I would think to feed its babies.
Her baby, exactly.
Yeah.
So she's producing that milk only because she's pregnant, just like a human woman.
Yeah.
And it's for her baby.
Right.
So once the baby is born, if the baby stays with the mother, what will happen?
I mean, it'll grow up.
It'll drink the milk,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So if the industry needs to take the milk for humans to drink, they can't let the baby stay with the mother though. So the baby has to be taken away. So the actual idea, the concept of us taking the milk from a cow in and of itself means that the baby has to be taken away.
Right.
Well, it's because it's not disclosed.
That's right.
If it was disclosed,
Yeah.
I mean, you should be petitioning, you know, the labelling of products.
The industries aren't going to put this on their products, but what we can do is something more powerful. We can go straight to the consumers. Because the only reason this is happening is because people want the products.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But it doesn't have to be, unfortunately, because it's very empowering. The power is in our hands. We can just change what we demand from the industries. These are day-old baby chicks. These are males. They've just been born. Look what's happening to them.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And that's because the industry doesn't know what to do with baby male chicks. They don't make any money for them. They don't lay eggs. So we ground them up alive. And that is so hard to watch, isn't it? Your reaction was so beautiful because your heart made a connection. Because the industry has told us it's normal, it's natural, and it's necessary to consume animals. But then you see this and you go, is any of this normal?
No.
Is it natural?
No.
Is it necessary?
No, definitely not necessary.
Yeah. It's right or
We don't
wrong?
buy this kind of things.
Do you eat it at restaurants?
Yeah, sometimes.
Do you
of
buy
course.
food from meat and dairy and eggs from the supermarket?
Okay, you're right, but we.
That's
we
exactly
will
what
do
you're
it.
paying for.
Okay.
Yeah, so every
Bye.
time. No, I'll just explain to you.
Yeah, okay. We were in holidays. Bye.
Okay, let me give you a card at least.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. So is there a humane way, a nice way to slit someone's throat if they don't want to die?
Well, I mean, obviously you make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world, slitting somebody's throat. But I mean,
It's not the worst thing in the world?
Well, how'd we eat years ago?
But do we have to eat animals today? Don't worry about years ago. You're living in 2018.
No, I mean, I like to eat animals.
You like to. I
have no
understand.
problem.
I used to eat animals
As long
30 years of my
as long
life.
as they're treated well, and
Yeah.
of course, ultimately they are going to
Yeah.
lose their life. But I mean,
Well, they don't lose their life. Their life's taken. So we've got to be very aware of that.
taken.
Yeah. And even if we left the baby with the mother, that cow still needs to be forcibly impregnated so that the industry is having a constant flow of milk.
Really awesome.
promote people to be vegetarians or just.
No, we're promoting people to stop eating all animal products and to choose vegan. Have you heard of veganism
Yeah.
before? Yeah. So the reason why we don't consume any animal products is because the baby male chicks that were thrown into the macerator, that's for eggs. So
Yeah,
vegetarians
just
just don't eat meat, but the egg production
Eggs
and
and
dairy
milk,
production.
yeah.
Do you know about dairy?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, trying to change the world appetite is a huge task.
It is a huge task, but guess
Yeah.
what? We're doing it, and it is working.
Oh, I'm sure you are. Oh, yeah, I'm sure you
We've
are.
had amazing results.
Yeah.
Look, the great thing is that ice cream you're eating right there, I can eat that too,
Yeah.
but I have the plant-based version. It's just
Right.
made of something that isn't coming from an animal.
Right.
So we're not giving up anything in terms of what we're eating or what we're tasting.
Right.
We're just choosing something different at the store.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's purely economics.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course, yeah, I know. Like
Yeah,
that.
it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have you seen footage of this? The farmer
I
shoves his arm in the anus, right? So how do you humanely shove your arm in a cow and forcibly impregnate it and take her baby away?
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
There's no nice way to do this.
Right.
Do you know how we can stop this?
How can we stop?
We stop buying it.
Stop buying it.
Stop
That's
buying it. It's as simple as that.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think in the long run, if you just live on plants alone,
Mm-hmm.
I think that there'll be some changes in the way your
Yeah.
body
There will be. Yeah, very positive changes.
could be negative too. We don't know. It's
Well,
too
we
early
do know
to-
actually. So their largest.
It's a little early to say that.
No. The longest living populations on the planet are predominantly eating a plant-based diet. My question is, what would hold you back from taking that next step?
Well, I mean, I definitely think it's hard, like having like the economic means to go vegan because it really limits what you can buy.
Does it?
Yeah.
Give me an example.
I mean, I think it's just easier to cook when you have more options.
Okay.
It's
So what are you taking out when you don't eat animal products? Meat, dairy, eggs.
Yeah. And
Three
cheese.
things. Yeah, dairy covers everything,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Everything else
Yeah.
is plant-based. So it's only really three categories.
But what about going back to our caveman mentality of survival and hunting?
Sure. What year is it right now?
Still, I mean,
Are we in
everything
2018?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
everything we do goes back to where we come from. I mean,
Well,
we've
we all-
evolved, yes.
That was survival. We did things in survival situations a long time ago. Right now it's 2018. We live in New York. We're surrounded by food, supermarkets. Again, we can eat everything that we currently like the taste of in the plant-based version. So why are we doing it?
The way they're handling them, the way they're killing them is appalling.
What's the better way of killing them? What's the better way of killing them?
Well, don't ask me those challenging questions because I'm not in that industry. So
But you're a consumer.
I really don't know.
That's okay. You're a consumer though, and we're paying for it, as I said, as consumers. So we should be asking ourselves, what is the better way of killing a sentient being who doesn't want to die?
We shouldn't be killing any of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Even if, pretend in a idyllic situation of what you're mentioning, we're still taking something from someone's body that is not designed for us.
Right.
It's designed for her baby. So is there a nice way, a humane way to take something from someone when they're not intentionally producing it for us?
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
You've had a very strong reaction to that because you're compassionate. And I'd say you're against animal abuse, right?
Right. Yes,
Yeah. And yet we're paying for it every time we eat animals. At a store, at a restaurant, we're literally paying for this abuse.
That's very deep.
Yeah. And we shouldn't be killing them means that we shouldn't be paying for it, right?
If there's a market and you have to kill them, then you need to kill them as quickly as you can.
So if we change the market though, and we can choose that, because we are the market, the consumers are the market.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, I realise that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need to do this, so the question is why are we doing it if we don't need
This
to?
is different than somebody, ultimately being treated well up until...
So again, my question is, how do we treat someone well where we slit their throat if we don't need to slit their throat?
Because they're not being tortured throughout their whole lives.
So if we don't torture someone but we just slit their throat and chop their head off, then that's okay?
I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
And what if it was you as the
What's
victim?
that?
What if it was you as the victim? Would that make a difference?
Well, if somebody's gonna eat me?
Here's the good thing that people don't realize. All the dairy products that you currently eat and like, you can get in the vegan version. All the meat that you currently like, you can get in the vegan version. We've done a lot of things in our past that we don't know, no longer do. And it doesn't justify it, does it? Just because we did something thousands of years ago, it doesn't justify us doing it today.
Yeah.
Right?
Instinct is interesting though.
Instinct? Okay. When you look at roadkill, what's your instinct say?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you for the education.
You're very welcome. I'm going to leave you with a card. There is a lot more to watch, and I know it's hard, but it's important because it's happening because of us. What about eggs? Are you still consuming eggs? Sometimes. Okay, do you know what happens in the egg industry? You do. Okay, so then my question again is, why are you still eating them? Don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it, where we've been conditioned to think that this is the normal thing to do. If someone didn't need to slit your throat, if it was needless.
Yeah, but to me, I need that.
Why do you need that? We're back at square one for protein, right?
Because I like the way it tastes. I want to eat that. I mean, I feel like it's healthy. As long as it's not, this kind of thing.
All right, so
I mean, if you had a homegrown, like the farm to table, I don't see anything wrong.
Do you know what the leading cause of death is? What kills most humans on the planet today?
I have no idea.
Heart disease. 17.5 million people die from heart disease every year.
Well, it's also because of obesity.
Yeah, but what causes obesity?
It's not just protein.
They're eating. No.
I eat plenty of protein.
Okay, so heart disease is caused from cholesterol and saturated fat. Cholesterol is only found in animal products. Saturated fat is mostly found in animal products.
But again, you're taking it to a level that you shouldn't be taking it to.
What do you mean?
People that have heart disease, primarily, are taking it to a level where they shouldn't be taking it.
But if we're supposed to eat animal products, then why should we?
You don't have to eat tons of it.
Why?
Why
not? But why not? If there's nothing wrong with it, if it's good for us to eat animal products, why can't we have as much as we want? A dog is an omnivore.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
I know, so I can tell you though.
Is it more expensive than getting any?
Well, at the moment, yes, it may be more expensive. But hold on. Have you guys priced healthcare in this country?
What?
Have you priced healthcare in this country? It is damn expensive. Okay, because if our instinct was to eat animals, then there's a dog right there. I would be saying, awesome. Let's go. Let's attack. I'm hungry. What is it? 12? Ready for lunch? That's food.
Yeah.
But no one here is looking at that dog as food. That dog's getting lovely pats and love. So where's the instinct? The power is in our hands. We don't need to wait for governments to change this, industry to do anything about it. This is us saying, no, I'm not paying for it, or yes, I'm happy to support this. It's as simple choice.
No, it's fairly brutal, and I really support what you're doing. I think
Thank
it's
you.
really
And the
good.
best way to support it is to actually stop paying for these products, right?
Yeah.
So from the UK, you said? Yes.
Yeah.
There's a great video on YouTube called Land of Hope and Glory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy to remember.
Easy to remember, that's right. If you want to see what happens in your own country, and we're talking about all across the country, that footage is taken, all different types of farms. These are not rogue operations. This is standard industry practice.
Okay.
And the thing is,
no, I look it up.
yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's UK footage, American, Australian footage, anywhere. It's the same thing around the world.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So I could mix up all that footage and you wouldn't know which country because it doesn't make a difference.
Exactly. Yeah.
What I will leave you with is a card. Another question for you. If I was to take a knife right now and start to slit that dog's throat, what would your instinct be? To join me or to stop me?
I guess it would depend on the environment, right?
Right now, right here.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'd stop you.
You stop me. Yeah. Yeah. Our instinct is to help where suffering is. Yeah. Our leading causes of death are scientifically linked to animal products. So the more animal products we eat, the sicker we get, the more it's going to cost us down the track. And it doesn't even have to be in 30, 40 years' time. We're talking like now.
No, I definitely say when you eat healthier.
You don't.
feel
I
better.
haven't been to the doctors in years.
Yeah.
You look better. Thank you very much. Hitting 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Amazing.
Thank you. Whole foods, plant-based diet.
Yeah.
You know, and dog is an omnivore, right? Meaning they can survive off animal products or meat or plants. But you can feed an omnivore as much animal products, as much meat as possible. They will never, ever develop heart disease. But we do because we're not physiologically and anatomically designed to eat meat. So that's why we have heart disease.
It's a very interesting conversation.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Vegan22.com, a free online mentoring program to try out a plant-based diet. You get full support, a mentor, nutritionist, recipes. Got nothing to lose.
Great. No, not at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
lovely.
Well,
thank you for
your
chatting.
time.
Thank you. Have a
Okay,
lovely
thanks.
day. Bye-bye. But the thing is, I eat super cheap. I don't eat the other alternatives because I don't particularly need them. I don't like them. And they are more expensive. So what do I eat? The cheapest calories on the planet. Whole grains, legumes, potatoes, vegetables, fruit, some nuts and seeds.
Yeah.
Super simple.
I usually
It's
do.
easy.
I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, I'm pretty good actually every day with the fruit and the salad.
Yeah, oatmeal for breakfast. My oatmeal costs like, you know, when you average it out, it's like a couple of dollars and I'm full for hours and it's healthy and it keeps you regular with fiber and everything's moving, right?
But you can get cholesterol and saturated fats from a lot of other
From
things
what?
that we make.
From what?
I'm just saying, there's got to be other things that we eat in our daily
Okay,
diet.
cholesterol is only found in animal products. No plant food on the planet has cholesterol. Saturated fat is mostly found in animal products. Some very processed plant foods would have saturated fat. But if you stick to a much cleaner diet of plants, then you won't have much saturated fat in your diet at all. I ate animal products for the first 30 years of my life. I ate meat at least twice a day, every single day. On the weekends, it was 3 times a day because, you know, bacon and sausages for breakfast, lunch and dinner's always meat. So I totally understand where you're coming from. And I didn't stop eating animals because I didn't like the taste. I stopped eating them because I saw that and I said, that is disgusting, that is wrong, and there's nothing in my being that says I want to support that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for informing us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being open to stopping and learning, and please continue watching this because the best thing you can do is let it into your heart.
Yeah.
And if it hurts, which it should, that's a good thing. It means you care, it means you're compassionate, and it means you're a good person that wants to do good things. A lot of good people do bad things, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's why we're holding truth signs, because the industry doesn't show you this. Schools don't teach kids this. You know, so who's going to do it? If we don't speak up for animals, who's going to do it?
Yeah, that's very fair.
You know? And it's important to remember that the power is in the consumer's hands. So if you're interested in stopping this, then we just got to stop buying it. And this is the simple thing. People think it's like a really complicated process to stop this. And that's what we talk to people and say, it's in your hands. Every time you pull out your wallet and you pay for animal products at a restaurant or a store or anywhere, you're literally paying for this to happen. You know? And we can also eat plant products that taste just the same as animal products. We have plant-based meats, dairy, milks and cheeses and yogurts and ice cream, all of that. So you're not missing out on anything that you're currently eating. You're getting the same textures and the same flavors without the disease and without causing this violence. Doesn't that sound good?
I mean,
You're eating the same thing, but you don't have to cause this violence.
if you're saying it tastes the same, obviously, then why wouldn't people do that?
Exactly. I haven't eaten meat for 10 years, and the other day I tried something called a Beyond Meat burger. And this thing took me straight back. It's exactly, it was delicious, and they've got sausages.
That's cool.
So would you guys be interested in trying some of these products? Would you?
I mean, I'm never against trying anything, of course not.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna give you a card because this was a really good conversation. I want to thank you for that. And you'd say you're against animal abuse, right?
It's a sick.
Everyone says, I'm not for animal abuse, but we're all paying for it when we eat them.
Yeah, people out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly, and so we're putting it straight inside, straight in your view there. I mean, when we're traveling in the States, there's two things we see over and over everywhere in your TVs and the billboards: animal products being advertised and pharmaceuticals. I mean, the amount of drugs that are pumped into this country, holy shit.
A problem. Yeah.
Right? Why do you need all those drugs? Because you're eating the animal products that they're shoving down your throat. Don't eat that. You won't need that. So you really have to look at it that way. I'm going to leave you with a card. That's all right. I've got a challenge for you guys, for the whole family. Vegan22.com. It's a free online mentoring program. 22 days to try a plant-based diet. You get a mentor, recipes, full support, nutritionist. Do it together as a family.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's very
much.
educational.
Thank you.
How long you been vegan?
7 years. Yeah, it's
feel good,
amazing. I feel fantastic. But you know what? It's not just the physical. I feel good because I'm not paying for that.
Right.
That's the most
You're not-
important thing.
Right.
I can go to bed at night, I put my head on the pillow and I say, damn, I'm not paying for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't take it.
Yeah, I know. And that's what we have to ask ourselves. If you can't take it and you can't watch it, then we shouldn't be eating it, we shouldn't be paying for it.
Absolutely right.
Yeah?
I'm gonna watch this.
Thank you so
I
much,
guarantee
sir.
I might not be eating that anymore.
You've given me goosebumps. Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
You too, mate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.